So welcome to a Zoom advisement for digital marketing students. We've got a few students here with us, and we also have Ellen from advising and my coworker John. So we're going to be talking to you today. So we have the welcome. Ellen is going to talk about your degree audit information, some financial aid, those important things that you need to know before you register. And then John and I are going to talk to you about registering for fall 2021 courses. Dustin and Gabby are going to be joining us. They are graduating this semester, so they're going to give you some advice on registering for classes as you go along. We're going to look up some CRN numbers of your courses, and then we're just going to round out with a little update of the rest of the semester or anything that you might need to know. So to be respectful of your time and make sure that we're efficient, I'm going to pass it over to Ellen right away. And Ellen, I've stopped sharing my screen and I am making you co-host so you can share yours and get started.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So my name is Ellen. Some of you are used to asking me questions. Some of you are not. If you've worked with Diane Hausler in the past, Diane previously had the digital marketing program. She's still with CVTC. She's actually the assistant director now for our department. And then I was a business advisor as well as a marketing advisor who moved into taking over digital marketing graphics. So not new to CVTC, just might be a new name. If you do email Diane questions, no big deal. She just sends them over to me. So you will see me eventually. I have a couple quick reminders for you, just some kind of timeline things for you to pay attention to. April 16th, you'll notice is the graduation application deadline. So if you are graduating from a different program, please know that you should still apply for graduation, even though we're now past that April 16th. That deadline is for, well, in the past, like printing bulletins and things like that and getting your name out there. But if you are graduating from sales and marketing, let's say, you can still apply for graduation even past that date, just so that we can review all of your requirements. Something you'll notice is summer registration is open. If you're planning on registering for any summer classes, now is the time to do it. You can register for summer classes from now all the way until the classes start in June. I do not recommend waiting until June to register for summer because our new students will be registering for summer classes shortly. They tend to take a lot of those seats that are open. Most of the time in the summer, we're seeing primarily general education classes offered. So if you're thinking about taking English or maybe you want to get your math out of the way, you could absolutely do that in the summer. Classes are online. Summer is also an 8-week term. So it's 16 weeks of material that's covered over an 8-week time frame. So that means the classes move twice as fast. Typically, I don't recommend students take more than 2 summer classes. 2 3-credit summer classes is going to feel like a 4-class 12-credit fall semester because things move very quickly. So keep that in mind for summer. Fall registration, which is really what we're focusing on today, will open up for our veterans 1 day early on April 26th. So if you are a service member or a veteran, you do get that priority registration. For a TRIO student, TRIO's new to CVTC's campus, you also get priority registration for noon on April 26th. If you're like, I don't know if I'm TRIO, then you're not TRIO. TRIO students definitely know who they are, and you're meeting with the folks, Jennifer and Forrest, all the time. If you're interested in TRIO, you can find out more information on the My CVTC page, or send me an email as well, and I can get a referral over to TRIO for more help with that. Everyone else will be able to register April 27th. You do not have to register on April 27th. That is just when it opens. However, I do recommend you register as close to that April 27th as possible because seats do fill up, especially in general education classes. We'll see those students fill in some of those more preferred sections, mostly face-to-face sections and things like that, fill very quickly. So please register as soon as you can. Something that we'll shout out a couple times is for for fall registration, we are offering a continuing student $300 scholarship for students who are participating in online advisement, which you are doing either now in the flesh, which I've already taken attendance, or you are doing on your own time via the recorded meeting. If you're doing this on your own time via the recorded meeting, you do need to send me an email, and my email is at the end of this presentation. You need to send me an email saying, I participated on my own time, or I watched your online advisement video, something so that I know that you did it, and then I will check you off for attendance purposes. Then the second way that you qualify for that scholarship is you need to register for at least one fall class before May 3rd. So that gives you one full week after that time ticket opens up. You don't need to register for your own schedule. It also doesn't mean you can't change your schedule later on. You absolutely can. But to get started with at least one class registered for, and then we will draw for those names, and hopefully you will be one of either a prize winner or a scholarship winner. So lots of things they're giving away out of the College of Business. The last two things I just want to shout out. So April 23rd is the last day to drop our 16-week classes. You would drop with a W on your record and no refund. If you're in his second 8-week class, so a class that started halfway through the semester, you have until May 7th to drop. We always recommend, if you are considering withdrawing from all or some of your classes, that you reach out to your advisor. You'll notice on this slide, I've got information about academic and financial aid standards. Typically, when you're dropping from classes, that's when we see the biggest impact for your financial aid and potentially your eligibility to receive financial aid. And we don't want to make you feel bad about withdrawing. We want to make you feel educated about withdrawing so that you're making a very informed decision. You understand all the consequences of dropping some or all of your classes. Sometimes we refer you to talk to your instructors to say, maybe an incomplete is an option, and maybe that's the best path. Maybe it's not the best path, but we just want to help make sure that you feel good about whatever decision you end up taking in the long run. The one kind of plug I have for the reason we really want you to talk to your advisors is if you have taken out subsidized loans and you move from above 6 credits to below 6 credits, your loans will now start their grace period and go into collections. And many students do not know that. They don't pay attention to that until they get that letter from their collection agency that says, hey, it's time to start making payments. Advisors do talk to students about that when you are dropping below 6 credits. So that's a great example of why we just want you to tell us, so that not only can we complete the paperwork, but we can also make sure that you feel good about the decision at the end of the day. Keep that in mind. Okay. Quick shout outs about some of the resources. I know you guys have been here, you've heard this before, but it doesn't mean it hurts to hear it again. If you are planning on using financial aid starting summer 2021 through spring of 2022, you need to complete your FAFSA application again. So you need to complete that 21-22 FAFSA. It uses 2019 tax information. So you can log back into the previous application that you've completed for this year and update all of your information for that 2019 tax year. You can use financial aid for the summer. If you want loan money, you need to be in at least 6 credits. If you're using a Pell Grant fund, that can be prorated down to actually as little as 1 credit. So it's absolutely okay to use financial aid for summer and for fall as well. Now, 2020 being year of COVID, we've seen students have a huge financial impact on their income, especially if they were working in the service industry, maybe in education, right? Maybe your kids were at home and they weren't before, so now you had to cut your hours to take care of your kids. So your 2019 income may not reflect your current financial situation. And I say that because generally speaking, the less income you have, the more financial aid you receive. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to complete your FAFSA application business as usual using that 2019 information. After you do that, you will receive a notification and email from the financial aid department with an adjustment form, and you can use that to then better represent what your financial situation is right now. If you're not seeing that or you have more questions about that, you can always let me know and I'll get you over to the financial aid office to get your questions answered. But super important that you take advantage of that just because we are seeing those big discrepancies that we haven't seen in the past from year to year. That middle section, so Title IX is our pregnancy and parenting accommodations as well as our sexual assault. If you or your partner is currently pregnant or becomes pregnant throughout the school year, it's super important that you visit the diversity and disabilities page in my CVTC to request accommodations. It is free. It does not mean that you currently need accommodations. It could mean that. If everything is healthy and great, that's awesome, but sometimes things don't remain healthy and great throughout a pregnancy. So what those Title IX accommodations are for are medical related absences that are related specifically to your pregnancy. You can even think of it almost as like a maternity leave post baby. This also protects our students that have like miscarriages and things like that as well. So if you need to take an incomplete in a class, maybe you need an extension on an assignment, something like that. That's what those accommodations are there for, to not only protect you, but your partner as well. So don't forget those are there. That second part, the sexual assault not anymore training, great opportunity for you as you're kind of nearing the end of your program as well. The first thing is it's a great resume booster. What not anymore training is, it's a training that you get a certificate at the end. It's totally free, but it helps you answer that question of, if someone came up to me and disclosed that they are a victim of sexual assault, what would I say? And I know many of you, that makes you feel very uncomfortable and you have no idea with just me talking about it, what you would do or how you could recognize the signs that someone has been a victim of sexual assault. Not only is it a great thing to put on your resume, but it's also really good for your personal development in terms of how would you handle that kind of a scenario.
And I'm going to hop in here, and I know John is too. John and I have both completed the Not Anymore training, and we both highly recommend it, not only for our professional lives, so we know what to do with our students and we can be the best that we can be for them, but in our personal lives. It has been highly beneficial because you don't know what to say, and it's a very scary situation, and this gives amazing resources, and it's such a short training, but so valuable.
Yeah, I would agree, because after going through the training, just being able to be aware of some of those signs and also some of the terminologies that I had no idea about. I kind of knew what it was, but I had no idea what to call it or how to be respectful in my words with it. So it was very, very helpful to understand some of those hidden things that you might recognize now as something that I should really be aware of or talk about. And just knowing, being more confident now in knowing that I can help somebody move to help them to get some better resources. I think it makes me feel like we're doing a better job too. So good training.
Yeah, thanks for that. And as a reminder, I'll be sending out this presentation. So Lori is recording it for your viewing, but I'm using a Google Slides presentations where everything I'm talking about also has a link associated with it. So you can click through this presentation and click on the links and it'll take you exactly where you need to go. So if you're not a note taker or not someone who wants to write down where to find all of this information, all you have to do is refer back to this Google Slides and find the slide and click on the link. So keep that in mind. On the topic of resume building and job searching, we do have a phenomenal career development team. It's never too early to talk to them. You do not need to be in your last semester to reach out to them. They're the folks who manage Handshake, which is like a college student LinkedIn. They do all of our career fairs. They have virtual career fairs as well, amongst the COVID environment. They even go as far as if you have your resume started and you want to send them your resume, they can proofread it and they can go through it with you to work on improving it and getting it ready now that you're entering the job market, hopefully. Last but not least, if you are a student who's considering transferring after you complete your program, it's never too early to start exploring those options. We recommend that students spend time either visiting a college campus, spending time on their website, exploring what majors that those institutions have to offer. Sometimes we see names of things change. They may not offer a marketing and a digital marketing bachelor's degree. They might offer a digital technology bachelor's program, right? So there's some nuances sometimes in names that is just important that you can find it to make sure that if you are transferring there, they have the program you're interested in. Many times our transfer schools also have either admission counselors, they have transfer coordinators, someone who you can talk to and bring. I usually recommend an unofficial transcript so they can look at the classes you've completed with CVTC and how they would work in the program you're interested in. A great example is that just because you know about one transfer school doesn't mean you know about all of them. So UW Eau Claire and UW Stout, right, very close together geographically. They look at transfer students incredibly differently. At UW Eau Claire, they transfer in class by class and the letter grade associated with that class, versus UW Stout views transfer students very similar to CVTC. They transfer in credit based on what's used for that specific program, and they don't transfer in the letter grade that's associated with that class. So a 40-minute drive makes such a difference in terms of how they're looking at a transfer one way or the other. So it's just really important you're investing that time into research as you're looking at what's next. I can absolutely help you with that and get you started. Sometimes students like to CC me on those conversations, which is great because I can help kind of explain it in academic terms. So happy to help with that if it's something you're interested in. Okay, so if you are watching this on your own time, this is where I recommend you pause for a second, you get another tab open, another screen open, you get your phone or an iPad, another device out so that you can both have your My CVTC page open and either view this presentation or listen to me in the background because I will just talk through the steps. So maybe if you're clicking, you can hear that. If you're watching this live, go ahead and split your screen or get another device open as well. What we want to do is run your degree evaluation. So if you're wondering, how do I know what to take? How do I know if I'm on track for graduation? That is what a degree evaluation does. So you need to get to your My CVTC page, find SIS up at the top. From the black bar across the screen, you want to click student, and then you will select student records from that menu that pops down. Towards the bottom is where you'll see degree evaluation. A term will automatically pop up. It'll either be 2021 summer credit or it'll be 2021 fall credit. I always recommend just do the most future term. As long as it's not a current term, you'll be fine. But absolutely make sure you're choosing credit, not CEU. Just ignore CEU. You're here to earn credit. You want to do everything in credit. Down at the bottom is where you'll see generate new evaluation, and then your program will pop up after that. Next to your program name, there's a little radio button. It's kind of difficult to see, but you do need to click that little radio button. If you're in two programs, you'll have to run two separate degree evaluations. You can only run one at a time, unfortunately, but you can run, let's say, digital marketing, check everything there, and then you can go back and then run your marketing one if you're a double major right now. Detail requirements will automatically be selected. Go ahead and leave it as detailed requirements. I never use general requirements, ignore that. Additional requirements can be helpful if you're like, I feel like I've taken a class similar to this, but it's not showing on my degree evaluation. It's living over in additional requirements, but I can help with that too. But detail requirements is perfect for what we're talking about now. Just going to skip this. When you get this presentation, you'll get that video. It's just saying what I'm saying now. So if you want to hear it out loud, because this is the most complicated part, you can hear me explain it all over again. Reading your degree evaluation, this is just an example. So you notice this is for business management, but your format's exactly the same, even for digital marketing. This is the detailed requirements screen. So first thing you want to pay attention to, up at the top, you're going to see your program. It should be digital marketing, and then your catalog term. Catalog, you're going to hear called catalog, program requirement sheet, or PRS are the most three. Lori, do you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, I do. And so if you ever contact me or John or Kathy or even Ellen about your, especially Ellen, about your degree, and you have a question about, hey, I don't know about this course and do I have to take this? the very first thing that we are always, always, always going to ask you is, what's your catalog term? What's your catalog year? Because sometimes our courses change, and we want to make sure that you're only taking the courses that you are required to take. So always know what your PRS is. And Ellen was just saying this says it's 2019 fall. So that's perfect. That's what we need to know to help you make decisions and give good, solid advice. So if you're asking us questions regarding what to register for, always include that.
Absolutely. And especially marketing, which is a good thing. Some students feel frustrated when classes are no longer being taught. The program is changing because it's staying up to date. You don't want classes of 2008 Adobe. Did Adobe exist in 2008, right? So like, you don't want to go backwards. We want to keep moving forward, and the program moves forward. Sometimes that means we need to substitute a class. No big deal. If you're following an older program requirement sheet and you're seeing a class isn't offered anymore, that's when you reach out to your faculty or to me, and we just work on a substitution class for that. So definitely beneficial. Where digital marketing also gets a tiny bit confusing. If you are in your very first semester of the program in the spring, you are considered pre-program for a short time because the program only begins in fall. So if you are pre-program for spring 2020, you are actually following the fall 2020 program requirement sheet, because that's when you began as a program student. So if you started in the fall semester, that fall 2020, that fall 2019, that older program requirement sheet, that's the one you're on. But if your very first semester at CVTC was summer or spring, you are following a newer program requirement sheet. So that's why it's super important just to double check that, because we'll see you sneak in or you'll move from the marketing program over to digital marketing, and sometimes that puts you in a strange situation. So your degree evaluation is where you double check your catalog, and if something looks wrong, just send an email or call or swing by advising, and we'll figure out which one you're supposed to be on. But this is where you find that. Something I forgot to mention, where then you actually find your program requirement sheet is on your program page in My CVTC. So if you're in My CVTC, you'll see programs up at the top. Just click programs and then find digital marketing from the list. And right at the very top, it says view current PRS, view previous PRS. So you'll want to view previous and then just find which year you're following from all the years listed. And that's where you see kind of the cleaner version of your program requirement sheet. That next area down, so now we're looking at this total required program GPA area. The total required is just the total number of credits required for your program. For most of you, if not all of you, this is going to be in red because there's still things you need to complete. Your program GPA, this is the only place you can find your program GPA. Your program GPA is very important. It determines if you can graduate from your program. It also determines if you can graduate with honors from your program. Your program GPA is calculated based off of your program and your general education requirements only for your program. So if you were nursing once upon a time and didn't do great in your general A&P course, and you're like, oh man, that's being calculated towards my GPA, it's being calculated towards your CVTC GPA, but not your program GPA. So you could still potentially graduate with a 4.0 from digital marketing, even if you failed general A&P in the past, right? So it's really great. We're not looking at those past classes. You do need at least a 2.0 to graduate, which is a C average. That does not mean you need to get a C in every single one of your classes. All the time, we have classes that we just don't connect with, that are especially difficult for us. We just have to do our best to get by. And sometimes a D+ is our best for that specific subject. That's okay. That does happen, but we need to average that out with some B's, with some A's, so that we're bringing up that overall program GPA. So a C- is not devastating. It does not mean you can't graduate from your program, but if we're seeing C- and D's and D- across your program, we're going to come into issues with that program GPA. So that's when you want to reach out and let us know that you're struggling. 3.5 is the GPA required to graduate from honors. So if you're one of those students who's shooting for honors and something to put on your resume as well, that's what you're looking at. Think of 3.5 as an A-B average, right? It's right in the middle of A's and B's 50% of the time. In that bottom two, or those, I should say those bottom two sections, I'm going to be the first one to say that degree evaluations are tough to read and they're ugly. It is what it is. It's the tool we have right now, and so we use it the best we can. The bottom area, this is only showing 1 year or 2 semesters. You will have 4 semesters or 2 years worth of information. This is looking at your program requirement sheet, and what's on your PRS is what's required each semester. And it's basically checking it off to say, did you already complete it and earn a letter grade? Did you transfer in that credit and earn credit for that class? Or are you currently registered? Are the 3 main ways we see students with classes. If in the far left-hand column, you're seeing yeses in the MET column, that means that you've completed the class or you're currently registered for the class. You'll know you've completed the class when you see a letter grade over here and the class name will populate. If you've transferred in the class, instead of a letter grade, you'll see TR. We don't transfer in letter grades for our transfer students. We transfer in just credit. So it's not helping you, it's not hurting you. It's just credit. It's just checking it off that the class is done. So you'd see a TR in that grade column, but it will show as MET as well. Now, if you're currently registered for your spring classes and your summer classes will already be showing here as R for registered and as MET, because it's assuming you're going to pass the class and be successful in the class. If you're registered for a summer class that's not showing up here, you may be registered for a class that you don't need to take. So that's a great reason to email your advisor or email a faculty member and say, oh, do I need global business? And just double check that you're actually taking a class. You may be taking a class as a substitute for another class. So we want to double check that you are taking what you need. It saves you time and money to take what you need. But anything that's red and says no, that means that you're not registered for it and you haven't already completed. Therefore, it should be on your list of classes you need to complete. You can find out which class it is by clicking on the 3-digit subject number. You can also cross-check it with your program requirement sheet because it'll be matching that list as well. I would say for digital marketing, most of the time we're seeing our students jump around with their gen eds a little bit, right? Maybe you took English in a summer, maybe you took an AP class for psychology in high school, so then you moved up your speech. That's fine. You can move your gen eds around. That's totally fine. But don't forget, if you skipped a first semester gen ed, you still need to take it. So that's why you just want to double check that all the no's are good and you're aware of them and know that they need to happen. If you're having any difficulties reading your degree evaluation, that's exactly what I'm here for. That's exactly what I help students with, is to keep you on track. So just reach out to me and I'll let you know what classes you have left. Lori's going to go over searching and registering for classes, so I will skip that part. The one thing I just want to jump down to is the contact information. So just as a reminder, if you're doing this on your own time and you want to qualify for that scholarship, send me a quick email, eprosnick@cvtc.edu, and say, hey, I did this presentation on my own time. I have questions about fall. I don't have questions about fall. Sometimes if you just tell me what classes you're going to take, so far, I am at 100% for students who have sent me what classes they are taking, and I have made a correction and said, don't forget about, which I don't mean to scare you, but it can be super helpful if you tell me what you think you're going to take, and I can say, yes, that's great, or hey, you need to take a prereq still for that class, or did you consider taking this class in summer? But not once have I yet had a student who I haven't maybe tweaked their schedule a little bit for their benefit, right? So don't hesitate to send me that. I'm happy to look at it and give you my feedback. I'm also on campus Monday through Wednesdays. I will be back on campus starting June 1st, 5 days a week. So we are transitioning back to that, but you can always schedule appointments with me via phone, on Zoom. That won't go away even when I'm back on campus, as well as face-to-face Business Education Center right behind Student Central, if you visited there before.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
Yeah,
this was really valuable information. Please make sure you send her that email, because who doesn't want a $300 scholarship? Come on.
And other prizes. There will be other prizes too that the College of Business is putting together. They're surprises to me, but We'll find out. Hopefully when
John,
you win one.
John and I like prizes, and this is the second one that we've attended. So I think that we should bid in there
Yeah,
too.
faculty prizes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I will now talk to you about this coming semester so we can prepare you to register for those courses. Again, thank you so much, Ellen. That's really important information that she covered. Right here, I'm guessing this is your program requirement sheet because most of you are in your second semester, meaning that in the fall you did first semester courses. Right now you are enrolled in your second semester course, and then we're preparing to register for third. Now, this is one thing, and Gabby is with us, and Gabby is a student in marketing that is graduating this semester, but she's also taking digital marketing courses and going to complete her digital marketing degree. So she's in here and she's going to be sharing some of her experiences and her thoughts as we go. So she can maybe attest to this as well. And I will say that your fourth semester is a heavy load. Okay, because you have web fundamentals, which a lot of our students find challenging. You've got marketing professional practice, which is your internship. You've got digital analytics, personal branding, marketing strategy, and then you have accounting. And accounting can also be a struggle for our students. So in my opinion, and this is my recommendation for you, if you have the availability, take accounting this summer. Okay, it'll be roughly an 8-week class. It doesn't necessarily meet every day, but you'll get that done. It's the only class that you have to focus on. You can do it online. I do believe that they have a virtual option for that as well. And many of you who take a digital marketing strategy with me, you know what a virtual class is like. We do it every week. So that is my recommendation. Take that accounting, get it out of the way. So it's 3 or 4 credits less that you have to focus on in your final semester. So I wouldn't recommend taking any more than 2 courses over the semester, just because you need a break. You really do. You need to have some time to recharge, but that's my recommendation. So now we're looking at, here's your second semester classes, the ones that you're enrolled in. This is what we're going for. So project management, Gabby, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Do you want to tell us a little bit about project management? You took this course, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, so project management was, it was really great because it helped learning how to collaborate with a team, and created a project that you can use later in your portfolio. So that was really great.
What software is it that you learn in there, Gabby?
I'm sorry?
What software is it that you learn in there?
You learn how to use Microsoft Suite and Excel, some Excel program.
Okay.
Learning for planning and stuff like that. So
excellent.
Use that for planning out.
Ann Kiefer teaches that course. A wonderful woman. I think you can agree, Gabby.
Yes, love her.
Very easy. And then we have the next course is digital marketing campaigns. You will have that course with me. So if you took digital marketing strategy this semester, which the vast majority of you have, you will know that our final project is we are putting together a digital marketing plan. So what we're doing in digital marketing campaigns is we are running that plan. You will have you'll have your fake business, you'll have a website, a blog, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, all of these different accounts, and you're posting on them regularly. And we're learning how to respond to negative customer feedback, how to respond to profanity posts, all of these different things. It's so much fun. And then at the end of the semester, we bring in industry professionals and you actually present to them at something called a student showcase. You tell them all about your experience and how you ran your plan, and it gives you great connections. So that's what we look at. And digital marketing campaigns is offered as a My Choice program or My Choice course. And what that means is every class session, not at the beginning of the semester, you don't make that decision for the whole semester, but every class session, you have the option to either attend online or you can come to the face-to-face class, because next semester we get to be back on campus. John and I are so excited about this. We miss seeing people's faces and being with our students. And I'm just warning you right now, I'm a hugger, and I'm going to try not to hug you because I don't think it's appropriate yet in the COVID era, but I'm a hugger, so be prepared. Next, we have writing content for the web, and that's actually called digital content writing now, same course number, etc. That's another course that you will have with me. It is only 8 weeks long. It's the first 8 weeks of the semester, 3 credits. And in that course, we are learning how to appropriately format digital content. So about headlines and lists and links and credibility. And we post in a blog all semester long and we publish photos with it. And then your final project is you publish an article on BuzzFeed. So another great thing to include in your portfolio. Next you have econ, economics. Gabby, tell us about economics.
Yeah, I took actually the condensed 8-week version of economics, and I would suggest that for anyone really, because it was fast paced, but I had Paul and he was so thorough and gave so much good information and gave real life experience, and he was great to work with. So I recommend taking that 8-week class if you're able to, but I'm sure 16-week would be great. Depends on how much workload you take on. Otherwise, I didn't have very many credits that semester I took it, so all good. But it was great to learn about the small and the big when it comes to economics, and he was a great teacher for it. So I recommend him for sure.
That's wonderful to hear. You're the first student that I've ever heard talk about taking the condensed 8-week version of that course, Gabby.
Yeah, it was great.
Huh, good. And then you have the choice, your last course for next semester, you have the choice. You can take mathematical reasoning or introductory statistics. Now, if you're like the vast majority of digital marketing students, you're like, oh my God, math is the worst thing ever. I can agree to that. I can calculate a tip and a discount on a store. I'm good with that, but I really do not like math. It's not my jam. So this is how I'm going to tell you to do it. If you are like, I'm going to go for my associate degree and I'm going to be done. That's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and take mathematical reasoning. It's a great course, highly informative, and it meets your requirements. However, if you have even in the little niggling in the back of your mind, just that little grain of sand saying, you know what, maybe I will go on for my bachelor's, or someday I'm going to go on for those last 2 years to get my bachelor's, then take introductory statistics. And the reason is because math reasoning does not transfer to a university, whereas intro to stats does. Okay, so if you want to take another math class, go ahead and take math reasoning now. But if you just want that done, go ahead. I sucked at math. I got myself a tutor the first week of intro to stats and didn't need them till later on in the semester, but I had it there because I knew I needed to power through.
And I'll interject there as well. I transferred from CVTC to Stout, and I had no idea when I graduated from CVTC that I had no inkling of any more school. And so I can attest for that. When you're going into a classroom where there's 160 students in a big auditorium and one teacher for a very hard or a more difficult math class, trying to get help is a little difficult. So I would recommend, if you're thinking about it, take the more difficult one here at CVTC if you're thinking about it. And smaller class sizes, 27, 28 students, and one-on-one interaction, a lot of peer support, and I think you'd have a lot higher chance of success rate taking it here.
Yeah. And plus, once we're back on campus, if you go to our library, the back of the library has something called academic services, and there's tutors there all the time for you. So that's really a nice option.
And Lori, just as a reminder, everything you're saying is also true for accounting as well. So
I was
accounting
just gonna pop
one,
that in. Yep.
great transfer option for credits for accounting one, intro to accounting, which only intro to accounting is offered in the summer, not accounting one. Intro to accounting doesn't transfer as well to our four-year universities. We do have an accounting lab as well as a ton of accounting support as well. So it is a good option if accounting scares you. Take it at CVTC because there's a ton of support for accounting. It could be another one of those kind of one-off classes that you get out of the way before you transfer.
Now, I have to say something. When you said that accounting one is not offered over the summer,
Correct.
I did not know that. That's new. So I was leading you astray. Thank goodness,
Yep.
Ellen.
Intro to accounting is. Accounting one, at least for the past few years, hasn't been offered over the summer. I think because it's a 4-credit class, it's just a lot of material to cover over 8 weeks.
Okay, good to know. That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So those are the courses. Now, what do we do when we want to register for these courses? I'm going to show you here. So you can see that I'm on my CVTC. Here's a picture of our Ellen right here, but you're going to go under records and registration, search course offerings. Okay, so we're going to click that. And the first course that we need to register for, let me get this back open, is project management, which is 102188. So I'm going to choose fall and I'm going to go 102188. And we are going to search for that and it will populate the courses for us. And so right here, what we see, and I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Okay, so you have 4 options to take project management next semester. 2 are with Ann Kiefer, 1 is not assigned yet, and then 1 is on River Falls. So the first 2 that we have are online. So if you want to take project management online, I know that some students have said that this can be challenging because it is a group project all the way through, but Gabby had a successful experience in it and Anne is a phenomenal teacher. So that should go well. If you want to take it face-to-face, it will be on Mondays from noon to 3 next semester. Anne will be your instructor. If you are on the River Falls campus, you'll have Dawn, Dawn is also awesome. And she has class on Thursdays from 11:30 to 3:30. So what you're going to write down is one of these CRN numbers. So 12042 is an online, write down that number. And then when it is time for you to register on that April 26th, you have all of your CRN numbers down and you're ready to go. Okay, so choose the one that would work best for you and jot that down. Our next one is the course that I'm teaching, which is digital marketing campaigns. So we'll look at that and it's 104127. And there's only one option for that. And again, it is a My Choice course. So we meet on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 10:30. Okay. We're in the Unlab, which is in the link, and it's a super fun classroom. So again, it's a My Choice course. Now, something you should know about digital marketing campaigns, your tuition for that course includes a 1-year subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud. So if you remember, you took Adobe Visual Design in your first semester, and when you did that, you got a 1-year subscription to Adobe. Well, it will be expiring this summer or in August, sometime around there. So this course picks that up, okay? And again, that CRN number is 12192. So 12192. Next class we have is writing content for the web, and that is 699133. I haven't had, Gabby, you haven't been in my the digital campaigns class, so I get you in that this semester too. Good. So digital content writing, it's so writing content for the web, it's just a name change. And that number is 12069. That is a fully online course. And again, it is only the first 8 weeks of the semester. We are done October 22nd. So 12069. Oops, I keep going to the wrong one. I'm going to close this out so I keep going to the wrong. So I quit going there. Next we have econ, which is 809195. So 809195. Let's search for that in the fall. Okay. And so we have Taki. He is the instructor for econ in the fall. There are 2 online options. There's an evening version, Monday evenings from 4 to 7, if you choose to do that. Otherwise, Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 10:30. That's the face-to-face. So you'll take whichever one works best for you. And I think, I don't know if we talked about that with this, but John and I both feel very, very strongly about people knowing their learning style. I would love to be home in my pajamas taking all online courses, but I don't have that kind of self-discipline. Okay, I've got a lot of self-awareness, meaning that I know that I would not be able to do that. So as nice and intriguing as online is, it wouldn't work for me. If you can do those face-to-face courses, especially with your program courses, your 104 courses, do that, because the camaraderie and the family that we build, the people that are in your courses this semester, they're your people. Your peeps, your family. You're going to follow each other all the way through. So you build really good relationships and support groups in these cohorts. And if you're attending face-to-face, you're getting to know them on a deeper level. John, did you want to add anything?
I would agree 100%. And, you know, I know there's so many different modalities that we have these days. And sometimes there's going to be only an online class, even if you're a face-to-face learner. And I am a face-to-face learner, but I can say this: I believe that COVID has made me a better, like, virtual teacher for sure. And I think you'll find that instead of waiting, because a lot of these classes are only offered in one semester, don't be afraid to take a face-to-face class or an online class if you feel like you're that learner. I think you'll find that you can still be successful if you communicate with your instructor and talk to your peers and you know, jump out of your comfort zone. But I mean, speaking out of both sides of my mouth, try to take the classes that you feel that you're going to do better in, if it's online or face to face. I take better classes face to face, hands down. So yeah. Be aware of that.
And I agree with John. I think COVID has made me a much better online and virtual instructor as well, because I'm more seeing your needs as students. And I think that's really, really important. But I will tell you what we can't do. We can make all these videos and we can do the best that we can do at providing instructions, etc. But we can't replicate the conversations that happen in the classroom and the igniting of learning and ideas and all of that. I can't replicate that in an online environment. In the virtual classroom, we can definitely do that, but in face-to-face, it is just amazing. So, yeah. So hopefully you found an econ course that you're interested in. And the next one, if you're going to take math reasoning, 804134, this is the one that does not transfer. Okay, so 804134, math reasoning, you have quite a few options here. Gabby, did you take math reasoning or intro to stats?
I took intro to stats.
Okay, so here's your math reasoning. You've got an online option. You have a hybrid option in River Falls. This is one thing, is that they're saying part of it's online, but you also meet Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 10. That's so these two go together. Otherwise, you have all of these options right here on the business or on the Eau Claire campus. One of them, well, no, 3 of them. Watch this as well. because Business Education Center is our main office on Claremont, okay? However, if you see Energy Education Center, that's the campus that's over on the west side next to Menards back in there. So make sure you're picking the right campus too. We want you to be where you're supposed to be. But these are all the different times, and here are your CRN numbers. So find the one that best fits you. And then we've got Intro to Stats, which is 804-198 or 189. So 804-189. Gabby, how was your Intro to Stats?
I thought it was great. I am not a very analytical learner. So the Intro to Stats was nice because it was more, I don't know, like word problems. I know Lori Ann, who teaches it, she is pretty great when it comes to like note taking and thoroughness, and she really helps you understand. And like you were saying, taking it at a smaller scale, that it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. But she's a great instructor, so I highly suggest this course.
Yeah, Lorianne's phenomenal. She just had a baby last week, so we're all excited for her, but she'll be back and ready to roll come the fall semester. And you'll see that she has 2 online options right here, and then she has 2 My Choice. And remember, those My Choice, you can choose to be online the whole time, or you can choose to be in the classroom the whole time, or a variety. It's completely up to you. But again, Lori's fantastic. So you'll have Tuesday and Thursday, either way, either from 8:30 to 10 or from 1 to 2:30. So those are the classes that you will be taking this fall. Gabby, is there any advice that you want to give these students as they go from 2nd to 3rd semester?
I'd say it's a lot faster than you think. It hits you like a truck. You feel like you're almost done, but it comes so much faster, and knowing exactly where you need to be at what time according to like classes, having all of your classes that you need, it's so important. It's so important.
Yeah. And Ellen was talking about this earlier too, is that Ellen, myself, Kathy, John, we're here. Our whole goal is to help you succeed and to be successful in this program. So if you have questions, ask. We love to answer them because we want to make sure that you're comfortable and confident as you move forward. And we are so here for you. Okay, so we went through the CRN numbers. I don't think we have anything to cover for the rest of the semester because everything seems to be going smoothly. I am going to stop the recording, and I am going to leave it open for a few questions here with the virtual attendants. So let us know if you have any questions or concerns.